right, let's call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, meetings be called to order. I'd like to get the roll call here.
Roll call. President Scott Howitz.
Present.
Secretary Treasurer William Pell, I'm present. Trustee Ed Warner Jr.
Present.
Trustee Ann Walker.
Here.
Trustee William Parrish.
Present.
We all are here.
All right,
Mr.
thank you,
President.
Trustee Pell. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome to the Monday, March 7th, 1 p.m. general session. It's nice to be back in person. Nice to see everybody. You know, there's a kind of killing my eyes, and it just feels really good to be here. Looking forward to have a great meeting. Just for informational purposes, the next trustee work session will be March 21st, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. That will also be here in Town Hall. And our next general session will be Monday, March 21st at 1 p.m. We do have some communications listed. I'd like to make a motion to dispense the reading of the communication since you all had this to look at your leisure. All in favor?
Second.
Aye. Do we have to approve the minutes?
Do we have minutes to approve for this?
Yes.
Trustee
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, there you go. So is there a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for February 7th, 2022 at 1 p.m.?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Bill Pell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Discussion with Trustee Warner, 2022 Dredge priority list.
Yep. We've been contacted by the county asking us to furnish them the 2022 priority dredge list. As of right now, we're asking for North Sea Harbor to be dredged in the spring dredging window if everything works out. I believe the county has done their site surveys and are trying to get the material together to see if it's worthy of dredging. We've had a couple reports from the Bay Constables and local fishermen that it's very shallow and needs to be dredged very badly, so it's something that we are going to recommend as a board, I believe, for this spring. As far as the rest of the year, the fall and winter and next spring's dredging, we're going to have to come up with a list for the county, each one of our respective areas. We should submit the area that needs, the creek or harbor that needs to be dredged, and they have to have permits attached with them. There's no sense of us putting, areas on for dredging without a permit that is,
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, a couple of permits we want to have changed, have the dispersion site moved to the other side of the inlet. I think
Yeah.
of Willie's Pond.
Right. I think that right now, we're getting a lot of letters in.
Yes.
A huge amount of letters have come in for Woolly Pond, which is in your area, and Far Pond, which is your area.
Yes.
Right? So there's a tremendous public outcry in a very organized working group fashion to get a couple of projects done that we're going to have to get, obviously, collaboration with, the county and everybody else. My suggestion is, I know, Jess, you have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of letters that you got to print out.
I do.
And I would suggest that we take all of that documentation and we forward it, our request, so that the county also sees how much of the public is really concerned about this. I know you spoke to some folks too, I believe it, Ann, right?
I did.
Yes, you did. So the Far Pond is also a discussion relative to moving of that channel.
Yeah, it's to amend the permit to move the channel westerly about 150 feet to where it was in the 90s to be able to take out a substantial amount of material and put it on the beach on the east side in front of Far Pond Road, 72 Far Pond residents, and east of that. It's badly eroded. It's been getting more and more eroded over the years, but in the last couple of years, it's really substantially eroded out. The road end was basically washing away. The superintendent of highway was putting some material there. He's now stopped, and we've done 3 beach scraping sand replenishment projects in that area, which usually last about 6 or 8 months. We just did one in about 2-3 weeks ago. It's finished. Some of the material from the winter dredging is coming back into the system, but we really need that channel to be moved further west and that material to be placed in that area
Okay.
that is badly eroded.
So both of these have gotten substantial kind of public interest. Mark, is it possible you could work with us on this to kind of coordinate this and get this information over, combined with all these letters? And I think in the Far Pond one, there was also the working group hired a specialist that I really would love to give the county the benefit of reading his report as well, and then they could make a determination and get back to the board. So if you could help us just coordinate this from a document standpoint, that will be helpful.
Okay, I know I mentioned the property at 72 in the letter that Sean and I drafted.
Yes.
Moving the channel westerly,
Right.
the reasons for it. What else are you looking for?
Well, we want to make their request over to the county and show them. Go ahead, Eddie, you want to
A
say something?
formal request, maybe a resolution from the board with some material that we've, we work with Inner Science and Jim Walker. He's done basically a site plan, changing the channel, moving it further west. He does have quite a bit of
Plus,
material.
and there's another expert as well that we want to include theirs, and there's probably a dozen letters from the community
Yeah.
in support. And I think that we package up that from the working group, just so that the county and the other regulatory authorities recognize the amount of public interest that there is in the project, in hopes that it will get, the highest priorities paid to it, since it is very important. Same thing with the Woolly Pond situation. I think our constables also did an evaluation of the Woolly Pond, and I would like to also include that in there as well. But if you could just work with Jess and just help us get that all coordinated and documented properly, I'd like to take the best possible shot. I know it's highly competitive and it's highly constrained in getting things on the dredge list, and I think the best, shot at documentation that we could take as a board would be helpful for the community.
So just to be clear, we're requesting North Sea Harbor for spring of 2022, and we're also requesting Woolly Pond
We
for
could,
spring of
we
2022?
should request it, and if they want to delay it, then that's going to be their rationale to delay it, but I don't see any harm in, you see harm in requesting?
I mean, they're side by side. It would be.
They're close.
So let's request them both, and let's send all the public information there. We have it.
Hey, Ed, I think when you speak to him about Willie's Pond, we might have to change the deposition site to the other side.
You can't put the deposition site on the east side of Willie's Pond.
They want to go to the west
It's
side.
got to go to the west side. I got a correspondence here from Courtney
East Beach
Scott,
Drive, I
and
think.
they're talking about Bayview Oaks residents, and that's the email that you received from
Yeah.
her also, and that would be specifically Fresh Pond.
Fresh Pond.
Historically, on the time I've been on the board, the deposition side was on the west side of Fresh Pond. They're asking to move the deposition.
To the east side.
To the east side. But the problem that we're gonna run into is there's no jetty or breakwater in front of the last house on the east side. And basically putting that material there, it won't even last a couple weeks, and it's gonna wash right back into the inlet
Yeah.
and fill in. So and we had this discussion with several of the homeowners probably 10 years ago about getting a rock revetment about 50 or 100 feet out into the Peconic Bay, and they would have to get that because it would be on state-owned underwater lands.
But
It's not
it starts on their property.
It's not, yeah, it's not in our jurisdiction. So that would be a project, and I worked with some of the people down there in the community trying to get access points for the county and utilize the county, utilize the association property. But each time COVID came along and it kind of got put off. But the problem that we run into, we need a breakwater to slow the deposition of sand into the channel. And also, we need a deposition site that the association would allow us to put the material there. The problem with that is that the dredging projects are done right after Labor Day, and normally the association, it's their beach access in their beach community area, so that it's readily used by the residents. So it's an issue. I'm gonna,
Something we have to walk through.
Yeah, let's take a look at all the letters and requests that we have,
Yep.
and then let's work with Mark, and
Yep.
Jessica will print those out, we'll get copies to everybody, because
Yep.
I know they weren't sent.
Yep.
And then let's separate separate the projects out, and then let's make the requests as concise as we possibly can.
Then as soon as we hear about North Sea Harbor and Woolly Pond, we'll let the people know, because I just got a phone call before, when I went downstairs, that the guy walked across, at North Sea Harbor at low tide.
Yeah, I heard that from some of the
Yeah.
local fishermen, it's pretty shallow.
Yeah.
And the county did finish up their survey, which is part of their process to put the area on their, dredge screening. So if we ask for, we can ask for Woolly Pond, but they also need backup documentation, depths of it, a site, a drone site, oversight, and which I believe
We did last year.
Donnie's gonna go down there and do at Woolly Pond for us in the next couple of days.
That's good.
Because I spoke with Bay Constable Franks to determine that about Woolly Pond, and
Yep.
he said he thought he did it in December, so we just need to
Right.
No,
tighten that up.
they did do,
They did.
they did do North Sea, but they didn't do Woolly Pond.
Oh, all right, well, listen,
We
with the
just have
drone.
to get that
we'll
on.
get it all together.
So it's all in the
What's
works.
the timeline for that? When do we have to have that in?
I would say we should get this stuff
Yes.
ASAP.
Well, I mean,
let's,
I started working on North Sea Harbor probably in October. So we managed to get all the information that they needed, and then they put it on their to-do list, and they already did I believe in January, they did the survey. So we could ask them about Woolly Pond. I don't know what the logistics are, because they've already probably figured out their projects for this spring, but I'm gonna give the county a call when
well,
we're done with this meeting.
I think what we have to do, you could give them a call, but I think on Woolly Pond, I think you gotta tell them that you're gonna be seeing some projects coming in that have a high degree of public interest, because Jessica's got, how many letters? You have a lot of letters.
A lot.
A lot. And,
From-
from people from various projects. I think she's gotta take some time to break that down and
I'll
advise the
sit- I'll
board.
sit with her and
But-
go over it, but
But, yeah, let them know, and then what we'll do is we'll get Mark to help us package it all up nice, that way we take our best shot.
But the last conversation I did have with the Bay Constables back before December about Woolly Pond it was deep enough for navigation,
It's
but
narrow.
it was narrow. So as of December, it was good enough for one more boating season.
Yeah,
That's why we need an updated survey from them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I'm not-
not, we can get it done for the fall.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's at.
It's already in the works,
What's
Bill.
for the fall? I
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not-
excited. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it fared through the winter and see what it's like
Yes.
now, and then we'll have a better indication. All right, so that's that's the Dredge priority list, public hearings. We have any public hearings for today?
No.
No public hearings
For
today.
once.
Public portion, anybody here from the public that would like to address the Board of Trustees?
They're coming. I hear they're coming.
Well, they're not here now, so we're gonna move right on.
We could put it to the end of the meeting.
We'll move that. Okay, applications. I have one on, it's Trustee Resolution 2022-48. Probably should also note that the Board of Trustees hereby waives a public hearing on the following applications.
You have some.
Hello. Has been determined that the following projects do not raise significant degree of public interest or public input is not needed to aid in the decision-making process. I'm just going to back up for 30 seconds here to public portion. Do you have anything that you would like to speak to the board about? Public portion time.
Oh, me?
Yes. You came at perfect timing.
Look at that. Just want to see if you guys,
Can you just-
Tiffany Gavin, 53 Cliff Drive, Sag Harbor. Just want to see if you guys have had any confirmation regarding the bulkhead process with 65 Cliff.
No additional commentary to add beyond where we were at. But people were on vacation, so,
Right, okay.
you know, you gotta wait, I guess, till they pick back up again.
And there's no communication other than, there's no paperwork, we can't follow up on that, other
No,
than
there's no-
going
there's nothing-
straight to
there's
the
nothing
DEC?
There's nothing to follow up. That's between the Department of Environmental Conservation and the applicant. They're working out their details on their project so that it works out. And they had a good conversation, and then they were gonna send them more information, but where it went from there, because I made some phone calls and people were out, so
Okay. Okay,
there's nothing more to add other than where we're at.
but you're still feeling confident
Oh.
that they're going to be,
If people want to remedy their problems, I think they want to remedy their issues. I just think they need to work out their details,
okay,
so that works for everybody.
all right, Thank you.
Nothing more to add than that.
Okay.
Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's see, Trustee Resolution 2022-48. This is, the applicant is Ed Wolfersdorf, 2 Saralin's Way, East Quogue, New York. It's for Lucas Torres, 53 Grant Boulevard, Hampton Bays, tax map 900-259-2-43.26. This is an application that we worked on at work session and meets all Blue Book regulations at this point in time. I suggest we issue the permit.
Second.
Bill Pell seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I have renewal for Trustee Resolution 2022-49, permit number GP 000252 for Kent Spellman, 21 Rampasture Road, Hampton Bays, New York. Tax map 900-293-3-9. It's on Smith's Creek. I recommend this be renewed.
Second.
Bill Pell seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2022-50, this is a third renewal for the permit number GP 000058, Redwood Anchorage Inc., 40 Redwood Road, Village of Sag Harbor, Suffolk County Tax Map 903-1-3-19.1, body of water Sag Harbor Cove. I recommend that this be renewed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2022-51, this is a second renewal for 37 Glover Street LLC, 37 Glover Street, Village of Sag Harbor, Suffolk County Tax Map 903-3-1-12, body of water Upper Sag Harbor Cove. I would like to recommend that this be renewed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Suffolk County Tax Map, Trustee Resolution 2022-52. This is a first renewal for the application of permit number GP 000275, Stephen Plofker, 14 Vitili Avenue, Village of Sag Harbor. Suffolk County Tax Map 903-2-1-46.13, body of water Upper Sag Harbor Cove. I would like to recommend that this also be renewed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Next is Trustees Resolution 2022-53. It is an application of 280 Dune Road LLC, 280 Dune Road, Village of West Hampton Beach, tax map number 905-19-3-5, body of water, Moriches Bay. Move to have this adopted.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Pell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is Trustee Resolution 2022-54. It's a renewal application. First, a renewal permit number GP 000270 of Stuart S. Leichter, 7 Bayberry Lane, Remsenburg / Spionk, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map number 0900-380-2-74.1, body of water is Moriches Bay. I move for this to be adopted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is 2022-55. This is the first renewal application of permit number GP 000262 of Fisher Organization LLC, 326 Royal Avenue, Flanders, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-123-1-68, body of water Reeves Bay. I'd move to have this adopted.
Second.
Seconded by Pell, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Finally, Trustee Resolution 2021-176. This is the resolution that's been tabled, probably the most tablings in the history of tabling resolutions. It's the home rule message in support of the trustees' tax line. The trustees have been trying to get on solid financial grounds for as long as I've been sitting in this seat. And this, in my view, is the first step to work with the town board and the Suffolk and the New York State Assembly and Senate to to get moving in that direction for better transparency and accountability and better protections for the trustees to do the good work that they've done for 300 years. So you want me to read this, or you want me to just ask for a motion?
For the public's benefit,
I will read it.
Yeah, I would like to have.
Trustees of the freeholders of commonality of the town of Southampton seek to establish a procedure for adoption and submission of an annual budget to be implemented in establishing a tax line. This does not increase taxes, it just shows where their money's being spent. Whereas establishment of said procedure, annual tax line budget and procedure is essential to the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of Southampton in order to maintain independence as a body politic charged with stewardship of more than 25,000 acres of undivided colonial-era lands consisting mostly of Southampton shores, waterways, marshes, and bottomlands. And whereas the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of Southampton seek to establish, after a public hearing, a procedure for preparing and adopting an annual budget prescribed in Section 181 of Town Law, provided that such annual budget shall not contain an increase of more than 2% above the budgeted amount of the prior year, except if the town board approves a resolution by a vote of 60% of the total voting power of such body, permitting the trustees to override such limit for such coming fiscal years only. The budgetary controls set forth in Section 181-A of the Town Law and the independent audit requirements of Section 181-B of Town Law shall apply to this procedure, and whereas no change shall be made by the budget officer or the town board to the budget submitted by the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of Southampton, and whereas Assembly Bill A 5623 and Senate Bill S 5013 seek to accomplish this goal by adding a provision to Article 107 of New York State Town Law, and whereas the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of Southampton support the changes to New York State Town Law proposed by Assemblyman Thiel and Senator Anthony H. Palumbo. Now therefore it be it resolved that the trustees of the freeholders and commonality of the town of Southampton hereby support Assembly Bill A 5623 and Senate Bill S 5013, which authorizes the establishment of a procedure relating to the adoption and submission of an annual budget by the trustees of the freeholders and commonalty of the town of Southampton. And be it further resolved that the supervisor and the town clerk are authorized to sign an appropriate number of home rule requests to amend New York State town law. And be it further resolved that the town clerk shall forward this home rule request to Assemblyman Fred W. Thiel Jr. and Senator Anthony H. Palumbo. I make that motion finally.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Pell. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank
But
you.
Just to clarify, this is a first step,
Yes.
right?
Yes, this is the first step of many steps.
Right. So there'll be much that will be to come with
Much,
this.
much to come. It's complex. Been a long time coming. It's unanimous.
I know.
Trustee Resolution 2022-56, it's the authorize the president to execute a letter of agreement with Suffolk County Parks for Charles F. Alton Kirk County Park adopting a vehicle access policy. Want me to read this, or are we all clear on this?
I think we're clear on it, but it might be wise to read it
We could do that.
if you
The
don't.
Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton has worked in cooperation with the Suffolk County Department of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation for the past 22 years for the best interest and management of Suffolk County parkland and the Board of Trustees right-of-way and access points. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton and the Suffolk County Department of Parks each acknowledge this agreement may be renegotiated or modified in the future as specified within the agreement as additional areas become available for vehicle access as a result of ongoing beach restoration efforts. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton feels the action described herein best protects and preserves access to waterways for residents, taxpayers, and freeholders by allowing for use of Suffolk County Parks land for vehicle access. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton hereby authorizes the President to execute a letter of agreement with the Commissioner of Suffolk County Parks, Recreation, and Conservation.
Second.
Seconded, Trustee Welker, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimously.
Yeah, it's something that we had for 22 years. We decided to terminate it, but after reevaluating it, it was a decision that we came to, that was to re-sign it. And I think it's a good way to move forward, working with the county and other entities, protect our beaches and preserve our rights out here.
Yes.
And once again, it's something that's complicated because the county owns this stretch of beach, but the trustees own the access points.
Yes.
So it's complicated.
Yep.
Okay, Trustee Warner.
Trustee Resolution 2257 authorizes expenditures for fish stocking of ponds and lakes with brook rainbow trout for 2022. This is something that we've done for decades, and we will continue to do it. The winning bidder for the contract to supply the fish, Cold Spring Harbor Fish Hatchery and Aquarium. So I'd like to recommend its approval.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Welker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Trustee Resolution 2022-58. This is a notice to set a public hearing for personal watercraft lifts and float systems for commercial properties. So this is for jet ski floats and lifts at commercial properties. If anyone has questions about this, they're in the agenda packet, under the underlined portions, you can see the items that will be addressed at this public hearing. To encapsulate it, we did not previously have a commercial jet ski application or a permit. So this is to put this in place, because it's come to our attention that it did not exist. I think that's the best way to,
Well, I think the important thing to get out here today is the date.
okay, thank you.
I actually have a question. It's more for Sean on this. Okay. Because I don't know if Mark knows the answer yet.
Sean Cambridge, Assistant Town Attorney. So we had drafted this because it was unclear.
You want to know my question?
Sure.
My question is, should we recall this and amend this to exclude privately owned bottom, like say, just like, say, a place down by
I
you?
understand, yeah.
I'm going to say no, because this board has exercised jurisdiction.
No, because I disagree with you on that, because if it's privately owned, bay bottom, okay, say if the guy dug back into his property like,
Boat slip.
like a boat slip, okay, he owns that bottom, okay? If he goes outside that line, like my old place on Dune Road, I own inside that line, okay? The property was dug back, so I could do almost anything I want, you know?
Well,
I don't think
Right.
that, I think that should be,
well, wouldn't that would come up at public hearing?
Well,
yeah, this should be in here, because a lot of these guys would get all upset, say like Artie, at Hampton, whatever it's called, down by your place.
Well, so
Party?
it was
Artie,
drafted
like,
this
he's all-
way.
That's all dug in, he dug that, so he could put out as many drafts he wants in there.
Well,
But wouldn't that be vetted out through the public
yeah,
hearing?
yeah.
Well, this board has historically basically enacted jurisdiction in lots of these places with dug canals. It's a town law zoning function. And the town doesn't have another department that issues
We
these
do
kinds of
that.
permits.
Yeah.
Right.
You do, on
Right.
behalf of the town as
Right.
well. So I do think it's within the board's jurisdiction to regulate these. It was requested by the sponsor that it would be drafted this way. You certainly can make a motion to amend on the floor if you're so inclined, but that was the reasoning.
It's like, if you, we still have jurisdiction over, but we can't collect a fee on, like, when I had poles put in there, I put more poles in, and Ed's father came down. Uh-oh. And, and he realized that I could put a dock in without paying the poles, because I own the bottom, okay? And I don't think that, maybe we should discuss it, but
Well,
I don't think that should be amended, it should be on our
Well,
own bay bottom.
Well, okay.
Not, because you're gonna get all these other
Right.
marinas who are dug back.
Right, in the town attorney's office, we draft based on how the sponsor
Yeah. I'm
chooses
just- that's what
legislation
I'm
to
asking
look.
you.
We
not
do
me.
regulate floats in the
We do
same
regulate.
bodies of the water,
Yeah,
and we do regulate bulkheads in the same bodies of water.
yeah.
Why don't we set the date for the public hearing?
Right,
Okay, and then have
this
this
is how it was
conversation at public
requested.
hearing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
I just want to get it open so you can think about it.
Yeah, to talk to him, let's get the date set so we don't get off
It's
track. and then
in your
we'll-
jurisdiction, you can choose how you
Right.
regulate within
Yeah.
your
Correct,
jurisdiction.
correct.
All right?
Let's,
Did you want to address and give background?
No, just part of it was unclear whether these types of permits, all of these permits were treated as residential. That's why we needed to clarify different standards for commercial properties, because the rule was one per lot. And obviously with a commercial marina, that puts you in a tight spot, because you're renting slips for profit.
Right.
And by definition, you have more than one slip.
Right.
So that was the intent here, just to clarify the code section. I worked with Trustee Welker to draft this as she saw fit, as she's the sponsor, the same way I would. Whoever is the sponsor, they get the draft that meets the agenda. So that's why it was drafted as it was. I do think it's within jurisdiction. If you're inclined to move to amend or make any other suggestions, you, of course, may do so on the floor.
right,
Okay.
All right.
we could do that, but we're
We'll
just
do it
setting the
like-
date, and then
yeah.
you could do more
I
due
just want to get
diligence.
that out so people can think.
Okay, so notice
Thanks,
of
Sean.
public, notice of public hearing to consider amending trustee rules and regulations A 340, section 80, personal watercraft lifts floats to clarify trustee rules and regulations with respect to permitting requirements for personal watercraft lifts and float systems for commercial properties. Resolved that Board of Trustees of the Freeholders and Commonalty of the Town of Southampton direct that a public hearing shall be held on Monday, March 21st, 2022, at 1:00 PM at Southampton Hall to Southampton Town Hall to hear any and all persons either for or against proposed amendment of Blue Book A 340, personal watercraft lift and floats.
Okay, you second?
I'd like a second, please.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2022-59, I'd like to recall this one and change the amount of voices from 1,500 to 1,800, and the day catch from 3,000 to 36. So Trustee Resolution 2022-59, authorize the use of dredges and set harvest limits in Mecox Bay and set harvest limits during the,
I'm just trying to think from a matter of procedure. Amend, yeah.
Motion, I need a motion to amend.
Yeah, motion to, you making a motion to?
make a motion to amend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so, now,
Um,
one abstention, trustee trustee Warner.
I'm changing from 1,500 oysters to 1,800 and from 3,000 to 36 for total boat harvest.
3,600, you meant.
Yes, 3,600. So now I can say the resolution.
Please.
Trustee Resolution 2022-59, authorize the uses of dredge and set harvest limits in Mecox Bay and set harvest limits during the period of April 1st, 2022 to April 3rd to April 30th, 2022 for the removal of oysters in Mecox. Whereas Article Section 8 rules the regulation for management and production of the town water forbids using of dredging device and removing oysters from the bottom of the waters of the town of Southampton. And whereas Article 2, Section 16, rules and regulation for management products of the town of water allows the trustees upon a not less than 3 days' notice to change the method of equipment used to take in shellfish whenever they deem it necessary to protect the shellfish protocol of the shellfish are in short supply or in the extinct in town waters or endangered. Whereas the trustees believe that oysters lying in Mecox would benefit from using the dredge device in order to protect the juvenile oysters that lay on the top of the market oysters, and now therefore be it resolved resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Freeholders of Commonalty of the Town of Southampton hereby approves use of no more than 2 30-inch dredges per boat may be towed by boat and should be retrieved by hand in the use of Mecox Bay for the removal of oysters during the period of April 1st, 2022 to the end of April 30th, 2022 at sunset, and hereby set the harvest limit no more than 1,800 oysters per man and no more than 3,600 per boat, regardless of the number of men on the boat.
Second.
That's it.
Seconded by trustee Welker, all in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Abstain.
And trustee Warner has abstained.
2022-60, authorized agreement for Conscious Point Shellfish Hatchery in North Sea
Wait, do we have to amend?
with the amend this.
So you're gonna make a motion to amend it to
Make a motion to amend this
2 years?
for, I think we were gonna do
2
2
years?
years.
2 years.
With an automatic renewal option.
two-
If they
2 years.
They have to report to us first.
2 years with automatic renew after they report to us
For another 2.
for another 2. Make a motion on that.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2022-60, authorized agreement with Conscious Point Shellfish Hatchery in North Sea, where the trustees owner of the land underwater of North Sea Harbor have the jurisdiction over the regulation and use of said waters. Where the Conscious Point Shellfish Hatchery is a non-for-profit organization under the law of the State of New York proposed to restore eastern oysters, bay scallops, and hard clams, and eelgrass. Excuse me one second, should we put the cup in here? Cup's not in here.
Well, we may have to amend it for that, or just let, that was kind of sprung on us, Bill, I think maybe
Okay.
you should,
Just read it. we
That's
could do
not
it.
till next week.
Yeah.
so
Next
We
week,
could
okay.
amend it later.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Population in the local bays and ponds and education students and local of all age of shellfish ecology and industry. Explain a eastern network of local shellfish restored individual local at the Conscious Point Marina. Whereas the Conscious Point Shellfish Hatchery has previous entered into a license agreement with the trustees upon the North Sea and underlying land under the water of North Sea and for the from proposed, and whereas the trustees willing to grant Conscious Point Hatchery such a license agreement in North Sea located a period of 2 years, automatically renew for another 2 years. That is the Board of Trustees hereby authorize the President to execute a license agreement with Conscious Point Hatchery to use a central location in North Sea Harbor for shellfish hatchery purpose.
Second.
So that's 2 years with an option for
So
2
2
years
years,
after a
a
report to the
report.
Board of Trustees.
Yes.
Okay, so the second was by
Me.
trustee Welker, all in favor?
Aye. Just one thing, we'll just have to follow up with Conscience Point Shellfish Hatchery so that we add the kelp.
Yes.
And a
And we
fee
can
waiver.
Okay. This,
Yeah,
We need to add a fee waiver in here too,
yeah, fee.
right, so we can,
right?
we can
You guys
follow.
want to waive the
Yeah.
fees?
Yeah.
Otherwise it's $500.
Yeah, so we'll do that next meeting.
Okay, so
With
we'll
the
just put
kelp.
this back on.
You should waive the fee now because we're.
Yeah, go ahead and put
Sign it.
another amendment up. Yeah.
I'll make another amendment, what number do I
Wait.
call? Use the same number, Jessica?
Yeah, you're gonna further amend 2022-60.
Further amend 2022-60 to amend that we waive the fee
Because it's a 501c3 charity.
because it's a 5013 charity.
And they donate.
Donate oysters and
Thousands of
clams
dollars.
back to the town, to the
Yep,
freeholders.
I'll second that, Bill.
Okay, seconded by trustee Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
I just had a comment that we should include in the license agreement the names of the
Officers.
management, the officers,
Okay.
Duly noted.
as well as the manager.
There's
Okay.
actually an application that they need to fill out that I'm not sure they've done that yet.
Oh,
Okay.
then we can follow up on that too.
Yes, we will follow up on that, definitely.
Trustee Resolution 2022-61. Authorized purchase of order income of 2021 to 2022, resolved upon the comp controller, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following department. The purchase order of 210062 in the amount of $4,999.10.
Can you just explain this?
Excuse me?
What is this?
This is purchases that were made in 2021 that need to be paid.
Oh,
Paid.
perfect.
Yes.
I don't have a
Thank
list.
you.
I think the tail end, I don't know, one of the warrants, I think some stuff didn't make it in on
Okay.
time,
Yeah.
so it
Okay,
has to
so it's
come in.
just moving the money.
Yeah,
Just
it has to
moving the
come
money.
in, yeah.
I
Okay,
don't, and I'm
thank
sorry, I
you.
don't have a list. of
Yeah.
what
No,
it
it's
is.
No,
Tell me
it's
what
just,
it is.
I just want to know what it was, that's all.
Interior
Thank you.
housekeeping, it got a little
Thank
busy,
you.
comptroller's
It's fine.
office, yeah.
It's fine.
So we got a second,
Motion, second.
and we're all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Trustee Resolution 2022-62, resolution authorizing the president to sign a letter of authorization granting permission to engage in horseshoe crab monitoring with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County. We've done this in the past, and I'd like to continue it, so I need a second on this.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Welker, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Resolution 2022-63. And the warrants, number 3 of 2022, trustee resolved the review in the town comp control for the following vendor payment warrant 3 be approved for the amount of $25,374.63. And the list is Dime Community for $346.76, Con and Con, $8,348, Chesterfield for $7,204, Jessica Furman for $200, that's a reimbursement,
That's for the cash drawers, yeah.
yeah. The Governor Connection, $4,197.55, I have a question about that. Joseph Lovato, $1,500, Otis Ford, $17.12, PSG is $16.30, Republican Crane is $18.15, no cents. Stern is $1,411.14, and Verizon is $318.76.
Do you want to have your question answered?
Yeah,
or
what
do
is
you
the
wanna
Governor
vote?
Connection, Jessa?
I just texted Lisa asking
You got
what
three,
that is.
I think you got 3 manual checks
Yeah, you
also.
also have 3 manual checks.
Oh, yeah, three mounted checks, for $2,015, $316 payable to Verizon Wireless, and $1,560.31 paid to Dime Community Bank.
And then there's one more with PSEG.
And
The
PSG.
One's squished in the middle.
138.56 payable to PSEG.
Okay.
Gov Connection is your laptops.
Yes, okay,
That's,
so-
that's buying the new laptops, okay.
All right, is there a
Looking for a
second?
second on this?
Second.
Seconded trustee Welker, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just one question. This Chesterfield payment is for Far Pond?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
That was the correct
That's
one.
moving the
The
sand,
sand,
yes.
yes.
Okay.
I have a question. Can we look at these bills at one point?
Yeah.
Like the legal bills I'd like to look at?
Yes.
Is that
That's no
possible?
problem.
Yeah, Lisa does all the billing. You are more than welcome to ask her to
We
look
can
at
have.
them.
you
We'll
can
get you a
have-
copy of that right away,
Yeah,
and
how far back do you want?
you want to go future
No, just
before we pay them?
the last 2 months, just to get an idea as to.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa has everything.
The incremental billing is a question I'm
Quite-
looking at.
Yes, it's quite high.
We have a walk-on too.
Yes, we do have a walk-on.
Thanks,
I
Jeff.
could do this walk-on. Resolution authorizing the president to sign a letter. First of all, I'd like permission to walk on.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, so now the resolution 2022-64 authorizes the president to sign a letter of authorization granting permission to the New York State DOT for the usage of boat ramps for the purposes of bridge inspections. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the president to sign a letter of authorization with New York State DOT and any agents thereof acting within the scope of their employment, granting permission to access and use trustee boat ramps for the purposes of inspecting bridges in the town of Southampton.
Second.
I have a question on this. You can say all aye.
Okay, so seconded by trustee Welker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
My question is that, should we give them, or have them give a list of the subcontractors they're gonna use, so we can give them a piece of paper with a date on it? Because what's gonna happen is that, some contractor's gonna come and use it, and then I'm gonna get a phone call, it's gonna get a phone call that some guys using the ramp without a sticker.
That's a,
Legit.
yeah, we could see if we could provide some type of, copy of this that they could stick in the truck and,
Yeah, with a date on it. 'cause we
you know,
don't-
and let us know, so.
Yeah.
This is to authorize Scott to sign the letter, which is gonna have those people listed, because they do
Okay.
have some subcontractors.
Oh,
There's
yes.
two people. that are
Okay, so then we'll
subcontracted
get you
out.
the list.
Safety
Yeah.
boats, and then there's someone else, and it's gonna be listed in the letter, and I'll ask them to put the letter in the trucks.
That's fine.
We might be getting more of these, just so you know. They're doing like a lot of bridge inspections right now. I spoke with someone on the phone about this.
That's good.
At like 4 o'clock on Friday, so
That-
just to give you a
that-
heads up.
That's good.
This might not be the last resolution like
And
this.
can we also please let the constables / Marine
I will.
Patrol know
I
as
will.
well? That way they
Same
can,
thing.
okay?
We will get phone calls.
Yes.
Yes.
We do have,
Do you get a hold harmless agreement from them or a waiver?
we have not from the state, from the, I don't think from New York State DOT, we didn't ask them.
It's the subcontractors at the DOT, though.
Yeah,
Don't they have to have it through DOT?
yeah, we didn't ask them for that. We just figured we would give them permission to use the ramps to do the bridge inspections. We weren't gonna drill down on the DOT so much. I don't know what council
It's
thinks.
a good idea to have hold harmless, if they're gonna use the ramps, just,
Yeah, we can put that in, maybe Jessica can put that in the list, the
Are
letter.
we,
Who would you
yeah.
want to sign that?
I mean, we got-
Which subcontractor?
Who, I mean, Mark, who's gonna sign this for the DOT? I mean,
well, I suppose we could have the hold harmless issued by the the DOT, and then,
That
any,
can cover
and covering
blanket.
any subs under it.
Because
As
they're
an
going to
umbrella.
get indemnification if there's any damages from the contractor to them, so we
Yeah.
get the indemnification from the DOT.
But you also said you had a list of the subs, right, Jess?
2 people, yeah.
Yeah, if we have the list and it's not lengthy, we can have each individual sub sign it too, if you wanna go that way.
yeah.
I've been in touch with one of the subcontractors. That's how all this has all come together,
Okay,
from Safety Boats.
okay.
When are they gonna start, what do you say?
They said they're gonna be inspecting on March 11th.
Okay?
So there's a whole list of bridges they're gonna do.
Yes. As of right now, because of the timing, we just approving this one for the March 11th, but they have a whole list through September, and she was gonna connect with me on those.
So we could, the next time, we could do a blanket resolution for all the bridges and
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
them furnish the proper
Can you
paperwork.
also let the Bay Constables know?
Yes.
And,
We want the bridges inspected.
yes, it's also good that they realize, they recognize us.
Hey, listen, if you can get from point A to point B without an issue, that's getting something out of it.
Go fast.
You know what the most important thing, Scott, is? That the DOT recognizes us.
Okay.
A lot of times they just.
I'm glad they asked for permission. That was nice of them.
They just come in and do
Okay,
it.
That was
They
nice of them.
contacted the Parks Department, and I said that the Parks Department contacted me, and that's how we
It's good.
followed up.
All right. So we do have 2 executive sessions, so it's been a long day. So if there's no further discussion, I think it's advisable to adjourn this meeting, if it's okay with my fellow trustees.
Yes.
And then go into executive session.
I second.
Are we all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We will be going into executive session for the purposes of discussing litigation and
Litigation.
personnel issues. Okay. Meeting adjourned.